All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So this is the Sony Xperia 1. I've done a factory reset. I told you guys I would give you a follow-up. Today is Monday, July 15th, and I think I posted the first video on this 2 days ago, maybe. But I've factory reset the phone, and I am able to record longer than 55 seconds, and I'll show you some footage in this video. A lot of you guys are saying, hey, you really should give it another chance. But I don't know how I feel about that, man, because here's the truth. When you get a brand new device and you're looking for something to work, you have to understand that I shouldn't have to do all these things out of the box. And that is just the only thing that I want people to understand. It takes a lot to get me upset, but this is frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So, I factory reset the phone and it lets me record longer than, 55 seconds. However, it starts to overheat immediately. So I just did another factory reset. And you can see I haven't touched any of this. I just did the factory reset. So I'm going to go into settings and show you guys all of the things you guys said that I needed to turn off. They were actually already off in the other videos. But this is important to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like this. I went in here and did all of this before, and turn everything off. The burst is off. The sound is off. I like to have the grids. That smart touch, all that, I turned all this off, in the other one. I even turned off the smart key, the quick launch to hold the button down. I don't like any of those things on. Now, there's a few people out there that, say, hey, I recorded for 20 minutes, 30 minutes with no issues. It's just a matter of my phone isn't doing that. And that's what it is. So in this video, folks, again, aside from me just doing that factory reset, aside from that, I got to be honest, I like the phone. It's absolutely nothing bad about it. Just this one bloatware app right here. There's nothing bad about it that I found other than that issue with the camera. That's pretty much it. And so now in this video, literally, I haven't had any problems with it. I actually did get a chance to use it for, more than 24 hours. And the battery life, if you guys are wondering about the battery life, is actually really good. There's no issues with it. I haven't had a problem with it. None whatsoever. It's pretty good battery life, to be honest. At the time of I started having problems, I think I had maybe 2.5 hours of screen on time, maybe 3 hours of screen on time. And I had about 64% left, or possibly 46. It was one of the two. But at that point, when I started to have issues, I stopped monitoring it. So that's just how that came about. But what I will do in this video is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the front facing video from this camera right here, right now in the office. I shot some footage downstairs. A lot of you guys weren't impressed. And honestly, I wasn't that impressed. But waiting it out, I'm still having to decide whether or not I want to send this phone back or not, because, I waited a long time for it. A lot of people say, move on, Jay, get the Galaxy S10 Plus. The Galaxy S10 Plus is awesome, folks. It really is. It's $6.99 on Prime Day, which is today. The recording of this video is $6.99 on Prime Day. So one person said, take your SIM card out and try to shoot. And some people were saying, take the SD card out. Folks, I never put an SD card in here. There was no SD card in the phone at all. You got to pay attention before you comment on my videos, because a lot of times I cover stuff and you guys just skipping through the video. You just don't get it. You don't see it. So, one thing I will say is that the brightness of the phone is not that bright. As you can see, it's almost all the way up, and it's just not very bright. It looks bright to me now because I have all these LEDs going. But for some reason, the display is beautiful when you're watching content. But other than that, it's not a very bright display. If I put it back to half, like normally when I have my phones, look at how dull that looks. That's something, man. But one thing I didn't turn on before was the Dolby Atmos, the dynamic, and I turned it on before I did this last factory reset. And folks, listen, regardless of the videos I'm putting out, this is smartphoneconversations.com ultimately, and we're going to have a conversation about what's happening. And with this phone, the only issue I've had is the camera overheating. That's pretty much it. I'm not pushing out videos just to push out videos. When I put out another video saying, hey, what do you think I should do? You know what I'm saying? That's me genuinely. If you haven't figured it out yet, folks, I'm not like a lot of other tech reviews. I'm not saying I'm special or there's something unique about me, but I would prefer to do a live stream or get a video out like this, or just the other videos I've done, and saying, hey, you know what I'm saying, what you think I should do? You know, it's nothing wrong with a tech reviewer getting the opinion of the audience that's watching him. There will be a stragglers come by and say, oh, you know, you're just trying to get clicks, or, you know, I would just do this, I would do that. I can keep this phone, man. Maybe something will happen. Because again, ultimately, I do not like doing returns, folks. I don't like doing returns. It's such a hassle. Again, it's not even about getting the money back, because ultimately I got this phone for $600 because I have $350 headphones sitting in the room in there. So I'm going to fire up the camera real quick and take some photos. I personally think this camera is fantastic for the photo game, man. Let me keep that in view there. Get my new mouse. I have a video coming out on this. I haven't, you get to see it in this video. I like the AI feature that it has. Let's just let me grab something here. I gotta dust off my, my goodness, my remote is all dusty. Yeah, but ultimately video is what we're focusing on, but I'm going to pop these photos up too, because this camera is just straight up awesome, folks. It is an awesome camera. So now I'm going to switch over to video, and I'm going to do some videos right here in the office, and I'm going to record for a little bit. So this may be a lengthy video, but I appreciate you guys sticking around with me, because ultimately I'm really trying to decide whether or not I want to send this thing back or not, because I like this thing, man. I want to retire my G8. I'm recording with the G8 just for general purposes. You know, I like to record with the G8 because I think the cameras are boss. But I'm going to record in 1080p on the rear, 4K on the rear, 60 frames per second on the rear. And I'm going to try to do it for at least a minute each. So if you can't stick around to see the samples, I mean, I'm going to do the front camera too, and we'll see how this works. I'm going to put it on the tripod, so it won't be any shaky cam. So let's get this thing going. The G8 is still a boss. I had to say it. Let's go. All right, guys. So here's the front-facing camera. And you know what? This is a review of the front-facing camera. I don't have any kind of filters or anything turned on. I always turn all of that off because I feel like, you know, it's not realistic. The face tracking on here, I'm looking at the viewfinder, the face tracking it's right on point. And you know, ultimately it's a decision maker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, should I send this phone back? I waited a long time. A lot of people say get the international version. But, you know, that's easier said than done, folks. That's easier said than done. I've been waiting on the Galaxy Note 10, and I feel like if I get the Galaxy S10 Plus, I'm not going to get the Galaxy Note right away. I'll get it, but I won't get it right away. Now, I do have one artificial light LED going. Here's two. If you can see any difference, and then here's none. This is no artificial lighting for the front camera. So we're at 1 minute. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I'm going to switch over to the rear cameras for video. This is 1080p right here. All right, folks, so no artificial lighting right now. We're rolling along with the rear camera at 1080p. Let me know how you think this looks. I'm going to go ahead and hit that artificial lighting. 1 light, 2 light, and you tell me what you think about that. But ultimately, we're looking for here is the ability to record more than 55 seconds after the third factory reset. And also we're looking for some overheating. Now, we'll admit that it's cool in the office, obviously. I was outside when the phone was overheating, but that's still not acceptable. I was downstairs as well in the kitchen area, and it was overheating. I kept getting those pop-up messages saying, hey, you know, we're gonna shut the phone off, and then eventually the phone, oh, not the phone, but the camera app will actually close. And I don't know, some people are talking about Sony never having overheating issues. Well, if you're a true Sony fan, I pretty much have a lot of Sony devices in the past. I'm not new to Sony. I didn't just start rocking with Sony. I've been rocking with Sony since they were on T-Mobile. And the fact is, Sony has always had that heating message. We're going to shut the phone off. We're going to shut the camera app off if the phone starts to heat up too much. 1 light off on the right side, 1 LED going from that side now. But, you know, ultimately, you can't bring out a phone. I could understand if there was just a time limit or something like that. If there was just a time limit restraint, then boom, okay, I'm good to go. But in fact, if in fact this is the way it's going to be with all Sony devices. Some people are saying Sony devices are trash. I don't think so, man. I think this phone is totally awesome. And all the people out there that have been saying, you know, I've been using this since day one and I haven't had a problem. That's fantastic. But what you need to understand is bad phones go out. I normally don't get a lot of bad units, but this one is definitely a bad unit. So I think I'm over a minute. I'm going to flip the phone around and we're going to stop this video. All right, folks, we are now, and that last video was actually about 2 minutes. I'm going to scoot back a little bit because I saw the frame that I was getting. I'm going to go ahead and hit 2 likes for LED now. So this is 1080p at 60 frames per second. That last video was just regular 1080p. That was actually 2 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and flow along, and we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off for the next session here. So I'll try not to go 2 minutes this time. I guess I could just get a timer. Duh, Jay. Hey, don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me. The phone appears to have fixed itself with this last factory reset. Let's start here. So I've been going probably for about 20 seconds already. So the phone has fixed itself. Apparently it's doing okay now with this 4th factory reset. But you tell me, is this acceptable? You know what I'm saying? Is it acceptable? It's totally not acceptable. I'm asking that because I know the answer, folks. It's not acceptable to have to factory reset and do all these things, even though I know it happens. And I think I was extremely frustrated in the beginning because you guys know I've been talking. Go back and look at my videos, man. I've been talking about this phone since day one, since I heard about it, and that's something that. What do? You're excited about it. I waited too, and I'm glad I got the good deal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe the factory. I really don't want to send this phone back, man. I want to keep this phone. I don't want an S10 Plus. I like it. I would take one. Don't get me wrong. I would take one. But I definitely would prefer to have this phone because I like the 4K display. I got the headphones for free. You know, it is what it is. And then I also have I have the new Sony headphones. I'm going to get the new ones, the earbuds. Those are the ones that I'm excited about to use with this phone. Not so much the over-the-ear ones. And like I said, I'll probably throw those up for sale if I end up keeping this phone. But I'm well over a minute now, so I'm going to stop the video and let's move on to 4K and see if it overheats. All right, folks, this is 4K with both LEDs going, and I'm going to start the timer again. Unfortunately, I went 2 minutes. I went 2.5 minutes that time. Hey, smartphone conversations, man. I'm kicking back, having a good time. So I just have the phone on the little tripod mount here. And let me see here. I can't move it on that side. But yeah, I have it just mounted up, and I have the extended arm on there. I actually think that it might be okay to keep this phone. I'm still undecided, though. B&H sent me a thing and said, hey, if you want to return it, we'll give you a full refund. No problems whatsoever. And I've never dealt with returns with B&H. And my fear is that I keep it and I have a ton of issues. Oh, man. Because, you know, once you have an issue with a phone, it's very difficult to get past it sometimes. I'm very picky about, you know what I'm saying, like my products. I mean, I wanted to work on the first go around. It would have been okay if this would have started happening 4 months from now. Honestly, it would have been okay. I wouldn't have had this big of a worry for it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it's happening now, as soon as I took it out of the box, this is only day 3. I got this on Friday. I think I posted on Saturday, something like that. But today is Monday, July 15th, and I'm already well into problems. You know what I'm saying? Well, just the camera, just the camera. I shouldn't say it like that. But anyway, this is the rear camera at 4K. It says I'm at about 1.5 minutes, and this is your camera review too, man. This is your camera review of the Sony Xperia 1. I personally feel like this footage is absolutely great. All right, folks. So there it is. I have given this phone a complete run through for the cameras. I don't have any issues. All the videos that I did are all in here. They're all there. And I gotta tell you, they look doggone good, actually. But there they are. They're in the album, and I'm going to load these up. Photos look great. I mean, that is a great photo. The camera looks great. You can see the 4K HDR. See, I just told you I did a 4K HDR video, and there it is right there. All right, guys, so now I've got the phone on the mount point down like I'm going to shoot a video, and this video is actually... Yeah, some phones can't even do... A lot of phones can't do HDR, can they? I don't think they can. So I did 1080p, I did front-facing, 1080p, 1080p 60, and 4K, and then 4K HDR. And I did that cinematic video too. I think the cinematic video is over here. Yeah, it stays over here for some reason. Yeah, and I had the wide angle lens on for this particular footage right here. I don't know if I'll add that to the video, you know, just kind of messing around with it. But there it is, folks, man. A complete run through of what I thought was my broken out of the box Sony Xperia 1. It's a hot phone. I really don't want to return it. And like I said, it's ultimately my choice. And I'll give you a follow-up video whether this particular phone is going to be a catch and release or a catch and retry. Or a keeper. So you'll find out in the coming days if I kept it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and set it all up again, you know what I'm saying, and get it flowing again, and we'll see how this thing works. It's the Sony Xperia 1. Let's keep it rolling.